Firewall Podcast, Episode 3, Maintenance and Fortification. Intro. Alright, crank up the volume and get the lead out. This is it, the final chapter. The grand finale of our little three-part journey through the dysfunctional amusement park of being raised by narcissists. If you're still listening, congratulations. You didn't just take a sip of the truth serum, you hooked up an IV drip. Let's do a quick victory lap on how we got here. In Episode 1, Laying the Cornerstone, we stopped you from staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. wondering if you were the crazy one. We gave the poison a name, blame-shifting, gaslighting, love-bombing, and introduced the core blueprint. You are not the family's broken scapegoat, you're its uncredited security system. Your job was to stop internalizing the attacks and start seeing them as system alerts. Then, in Episode 2, Active Construction, we got off the couch and into the workshop. We moved from "what is this" to "what do I do about it?" We traded in your emotional reactions for cool, neutral language, your verbal firewall code. We built practical when-then protocols, e.g., when they play the victim, then I end the call, and crafted a personal mission statement to be your emotional GPS. You stopped being a reactive pinball and started being a calm system administrator. You've done the unthinkable. You looked the so-called family circus straight in its clown makeup smeared face, you cataloged every rotten trick, and you've actually started mixing the cement and laying bricks for your own damn fortress. That's huge. Most people never get past complaining about the draft. But, and there's always a but, usually delivered by life with a tire iron, here's the brutal, unvarnished reality check. That beautiful, shiny boundary wall you just finished slapping together? The one that feels so solid today? If you just stand back, admire it, and walk away to make a sandwich, it will crack by tomorrow. It will sprout leaks. The termites of guilt and the erosion of old programming will start gnawing at the foundation. This isn't some infomercial kitchen gadget. This is not the set-it-and-forget-it Showtime rotisserie of emotional resilience. There is no magic button that turns you into a mental Fort Knox. So for this last rodeo, we're changing hats. We're done with the hard hats and the blueprints. Now we clock in as the maintenance crew, the janitors of your own psyche. Today is all about the unsexy, grinded-out work of upkeep. We're going to talk about how you keep this personal firewall of yours, this beautiful, life-saving piece of internal infrastructure, from turning into digital Swiss cheese, overrun with pop-up ads for guilt and spam emails of obligation. And here's the critical, non-negotiable part of the mission. How do you do this maintenance without the process itself becoming a soul-sucking part-time job? What's the point of building an impenetrable castle if you're so exhausted from polishing the armor and digging the moat that you can't even enjoy a beer in the courtyard? If the guard duty leaves you more drained than the invasion ever did, you've just built a fancier prison. That's the pivot. From construction to sustainable operation. From defense to living. So stop just listening and start engaging that brain. Let's get to work. If this cut through the noise and actually reached you, if it landed, do us both a favor and hit like. It keeps the lights on. It tells the algorithm, hey, over here, the people who are tired of the lies are listening. Feed the beast, or it wanders off to someone else. And if you want more of this straight talk, hit subscribe. Don't make me come down there. We've both got better things to do. Let's go. Firewall Podcast, Episode 3, Segment 2, The Reality of Backlash. Listen to me. You didn't just change the channel. You yanked the power cord out of the wall. Now the narcissist machine is freaking out. All its little programs, the guilt trips, the fake emergencies, are hitting a wall. Your wall. The narcissist's whole purpose is to get a reaction from you, and you just walked out of the theater. So the alarms are going off. They are running every desperate script. They will try the pathetic victim routine. They will ooze fake kindness. They will send in the flying monkeys to do their dirty work. The narcissist is escalating because you have become unmanageable. You've stopped playing your part. Here is where everyone gets it wrong. Your instinct, your protector's heart wants to fix this. It wants to explain, to soothe, to make them understand so the chaos stops. That is your fatal flaw. Remember what they say on an airplane? When the cabin loses pressure, you put your own oxygen mask on first. You do not turn to the person having the panic attack and try to fix their mask while you're turning blue. You secure your own air supply, then you can help others. You have been trying to fix their mask for your entire life while you were suffocating. You were trying to regulate their emotions while yours were in a nosedive. You were trying to calm their chaos while your own psyche was in freefall. Stop it. The narcissist is the one screaming and flailing in the next seat. You are not responsible for their air. Your only job at that moment is to get your mask on. To secure your own oxygen. To breathe. This means, this is not the time to negotiate with the panic. This is not the time to explain air pressure to a hysterical person. This is the time to be a stonewall. You use those neutral phrases, the ones we practiced, with all the emotion of a stop sign. You are not a participant in their drama anymore. You are securing your mask. You are the system admin, watching a corrupt program try to force a shutdown, and you are clicking ignore. Your job is to gray rock to be so boringly, relentlessly calm that the narcissist's escalated performance gets no applause. No booze, no life-giving oxygen from your reaction. You let the tantrum hit the silence and fade out. You are busy breathing your own air. And listen, this maintenance, this insulation, isn't self-indulgence. It's your pre-flight safety procedure. You have to rewire your own nervous system so their chaos stops being your forecast. You are the pilot of your own life now. 2 drills. Every day. This is your pre-flight check. 1. The morning mask check. You look yourself in the eye and you say, my air supply comes first. I am not the narcissist's emotional oxygen tank. What I see is real. I choose peace, not their pointless war. 2. The cabin decompression ritual. After any contact, you must repressurize. 10 minutes. A hard walk. Loud music in your ears. You teach your body, the emergency drill is over. My mask is secure. I am safe. I am back in my own controlled atmosphere. This is how you win. Not by fighting the chaos in the cabin next to you, but by ensuring you could always breathe no matter what fails around you. Your survival is not selfish. It is the prerequisite for everything else. Now secure your mask. Get the full, powerful novel that started it all. You can purchase Firewall on Amazon now and begin building your own fortress. Find it quickly on Amazon by searching for the keyword Firewall in the books section, or searching for my last name, Renyer. Firewall Podcast Episode 3, Segment 3, Flying Monkeys. Alright, listen up. We've built the protocols, but a firewall is only as strong as its dumbest, most sentimental weak point. Time for a diagnostic. A stress test. Think of the last time they got a reaction, that gut punch, that specific insult about your character, that guilt trip about what family means. Find that feeling. That's your vulnerability report. Your job is to isolate it, go back to your code, and write a new rule to patch it. Now let's talk about external threats. When the primary narcissist, the main server, can't get a direct breach, they don't give up. They outsource. They deploy what we call flying monkeys. In their playbook, a flying monkey isn't just someone who disagrees with you. It's a specific role. Think of the narcissist as the Wizard of Oz, all smoke, mirrors, and hidden weakness. They can't actually do the dirty work themselves without breaking character. So they send out these agents to do it for them, to gather intelligence, to apply pressure, to deliver messages, and to report back. They're often family members, old friends, or even new partners who've been fed a carefully crafted narrative where you're the wicked witch and the narcissist is the poor victim in the balloon. Your rule for dealing with flying monkeys is absolute. No unauthorized access to private data. You do not give your login credentials, your emotions, your reasons, your trauma, to a messenger. They are a conduit, not a confidant. You will feel a deep, programmed urge to explain yourself to these people, to make them understand. That urge is the exploit. Your protocol with a flying monkey has one goal: containment, not conversion. Here is your script. It is calm, final, and architecturally sound. I know you're speaking from a place of care, but my private relationships aren't up for discussion. Thank you for respecting that. Then you enact the golden rule. Do not jade. Do not justify, argue, defend, or explain. Engaging in debate with a flying monkey is not a conversation. It's a data breach. You are handing over classified emotional intelligence that will be packaged and sent right back to headquarters for use against you. You are not there to correct their story. You are there to enforce the border of your own country. Let me be clear. This isn't rudeness. This is security. You are the sovereign gatekeeper of your own peace. The flying monkey is at the gate, reading from a script they didn't write. You don't debate the script. You don't critique its logic. You simply state the law of the land. No entry without my consent. You are protecting the perimeter. Now man the gate. Firewall Podcast Episode 3, Segment 4, The Long View. Let's get to the heart of the maintenance plan. This isn't about memorizing scripts. It's about rewiring your emotional reasoning. I've got 3 questions for you. I don't want a quick answer. I want you to feel the shift. First, the reframe. Right now, you likely see your boundaries as a reaction. A necessary defense. A wall you were forced to build because of their behavior. It feels defensive, maybe even a little bitter. What if you flipped that script entirely? What if you started seeing every boundary not as a reaction to them, but as a sacred gift to yourself? That no isn't just stopping their chaos, it's gifting yourself peace. That ended conversation isn't just shutting them down, it's gifting yourself time and energy. That non-negotiable rule isn't just a barrier, it's gifting yourself safety. So sit with this. Does shifting your perspective From building a fort against a siege to constructing a sanctuary for your soul, change the emotional weight of setting these boundaries? Does it move the action from a burden to an act of self-respect? Second, the evidence. Think. Scan your recent history. Was there a moment, even a small one, where someone tried to poke you, to get a rise, and for the first time it just didn't land? The barb hit the armor and fell away. You felt the attempt, but it didn't hijack your inner peace. You didn't spiral. You didn't need 3 hours to recover. What was different in that moment? Was it that you saw the tactic coming from a mile away? Was it that your new script came out automatically? Was it that you were simply too focused on your own oxygen mask to care about their noise? Identify that difference. That's not a fluke. That's a prototype of your future. That's proof your firewall is operational. Third, the integration. Let's loop back and deepen it. We started with the idea of a gift. Now feel the difference in your body between these two statements. I have to set this boundary because they are so toxic. I get to set this boundary because I deserve peace. The first is powered by their dysfunction. The second is powered by your worth. Does choosing to see your actions as a gift to yourself, a proactive investment in the person you are becoming, fundamentally change the feeling from one of bitter obligation to one of empowered creation? This is the core of maintenance. You're not just patching cracks in a defensive wall. You're tending the garden inside the walls. You're shifting your entire identity from reactor to creator. The boundary isn't what you're against anymore. It's what you're for. You're for your peace. You're for your sanity. You're for your future. Now answer those questions for yourself. The answers are the fuel that will keep your fortress strong long after this podcast ends. Firewall Podcast Episode 3, Segment 5, Final Sign-Off and Empowerment. Let's take a look at the ground we've covered. In the beginning, you were standing in the rubble, holding a set of blueprints you couldn't even read. All you knew was that the old structure was collapsing on top of you. We started by turning on the lights. We named what was happening. Not family drama, but gaslighting. Not a bad day, but blame shifting. We gave the poison a label. That was the first act of taking back the site. Then, we moved from understanding to action. We stopped analyzing the wrecking ball and started forging our own materials. We traded your raw emotional reactions for neutral language, your emotional reinforced concrete. We built when/then protocols, the load-bearing beams of your new structure. When they deploy guilt, then I disengage. That was the phase of active construction. You were no longer a victim of the collapse, you were the architect of the rebuild. Now we stand in the maintenance phase. The structure is up. The walls are bare, but they are your walls. And we are prepared for the weather, for the pressure tests, for the faint, distant echoes of the old demolition crew, confused that their chaos no longer causes a cave-in. I need you to understand the core philosophy of all this work, because it's easy to forget. This was never about building a prison to lock life out. That's what they taught you to do, to retreat, to hide, to make yourself small in a dark corner to avoid the blast zone. What we have done is the precise opposite. We have been pouring a foundation so deep, so reinforced, and so level that for the first time you can now safely build upwards. You can install windows to let the light in. You can put in a door that you control, that allows in chosen guests, fresh air, and new possibilities. You can furnish the rooms with your own tastes, your own dreams, your own peace. The goal was never isolation. The goal was stable ground. It was creating a home base so secure that you could finally venture out, explore, connect, and create, not from a place of desperate need or fearful scarcity, but from a place of chosen abundance. On your terms. A quick look back at the journey. Episode 1, Laying the Cornerstone. We moved you from feeling like the broken scapegoat to recognizing yourself as the uncredited security system. We named the toxic behaviors, your first act of reclaiming reality. Episode 2, Active Construction. We moved from theory to practice, forging your when-then protocols and neutral language. You shifted from reactive victim to calm system administrator, building your emotional firewall. Episode 3, Maintenance and Fortification. Here we prepared for the inevitable pushback, fortified against flying monkeys, and established daily rituals to protect your peace without draining your soul. The work moved from construction to sustainable living. The work is yours now. The tools are in your hands. The blueprints are your own. This is Timothy Renier,